In other news, a major decision has come down from the Supreme Court of Canada just moments ago surrounding edible marijuana. Ottawa's medical marijuana laws have been declared unconstitutional. That means the definition of medicinal pot has been re-examined. Until now, patients have only legally been allowed to access dried marijuana, so people have been wanting to use it in other ways, like capsules and baked goods and drinks. It all stems from a case surrounding Owen Smith. He was arrested and charged for producing marijuana edibles back in 2009. He challenged the restriction and was acquitted. And we're now joined by Kirk Tusaw, the lawyer for Owen Smith in this Supreme Court case. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on. Just give us an overview here. How does this ruling that came down just moments ago from the Supreme Court of Canada change things?
Well, the court found that it was unconstitutional and an arbitrary violation of Section 7 of the Charter to prevent patients who were authorized to use cannabis for medical purposes from using it in all of its derivative forms. The court determined that that arbitrary restriction should be stricken and that remedy ought to go into effect immediately. So as of 6:45 a.m. this morning, Pacific time, patients across Canada who are medically authorized to possess cannabis for medical purposes can possess that cannabis in any of its forms.
So why is this ruling so important when it comes to those who want to ingest medicinal marijuana, not just by smoking or vaporizing?
Well, as the Supreme Court of Canada determined, the restriction prevents people who have established legitimate need for medical cannabis from choosing the method of administration of the drug that most benefits them. And what the Supreme Court said is that on the evidence accepted by the trial judge and never overturned at any stage of these proceedings, that denial is not trivial. It actually subjects the person, the patient, to the risk of health harms that are associated with smoking dried marijuana, and it precludes them from choosing a more effective treatment. That violates their security of the person and liberty rights, and therefore violates the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
You said that that takes effective immediately. What does that mean for people who will be seeking out these alternate forms of ingesting medicinal marijuana?
Well, for those patients, the decision makes them not criminals for doing so any longer. Prior to this morning, if you possessed, even if you were legal to grow or possess cannabis for medical purposes, you were a criminal if you turn that into cookies or tea or topical treatments. You're no longer a criminal for doing so, and you can possess and use those different forms of medicine. So it's a fantastic victory for patients. It was a unanimous decision, and so I'm just incredibly pleased and gratified to have been part of this process with Owen Smith, Ted Smith, Gail Quinn, all our witnesses, and all the people that participated in this from start to finish today.
All right, well, we really appreciate you being with us.